Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to take a stroll down memory lane. One of the things that I love getting into here on my channel is advice for people who are just getting started. So today I'm gonna share with you guys like kind of a list of things that I bought in what I call Act 1 of my luxury journey. All of these things are no longer in my collection and a lot of the time I made huge mistakes. So I have about like maybe 10 or so that I'm going to share with you of some of the first things that I ever bought and what I learned about myself through the process. These are definitely things for you to take under consideration as well if you are in the beginnings of your luxury collecting, or if you're not. You know, we're always learning, and different phases and stages of life are going to bring you to different places and you're going to need different things. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you have any regretful purchases from your Act 1, then please comment them down below. I'd love to hear them. So I would say one important thing to remember about me specifically, I got into this area in a very unique way. It became my day job, which I don't know is something that I necessarily recommend because I was almost immediately engrossed in it. Part of my job when I first started was doing research and finding pricing and things like that. So a lot of these things that you're going to see on this list were things that I would just happen upon frequently when I was searching for other items. So the first one I want to get started with is, well, I think this is going to be the first designer item that I purchased myself. My first designer item was an Hermès H belt. Nowadays I look back and they are absolutely not my style. First and foremost, I don't really wear belts just generally, and second of all, I don't really like logos, especially on belts. But we're gonna set that aside. So this belt I purchased in 2014. That was a couple of months into me starting in the industry. But what I began to notice about the Hermès belt was that this is something that that customers would come in almost every single day asking for one. And that is still true to this day, 10 years later. We had one, just one, and everyone would pass on it because it was too small. So we had just the regular 32mm size in black leather, black with gold leather in palladium hardware, and it was a size 80. Now 80 centimeters is like 30 or so inches. Basically, if you want to wear it on your hip, which we were still wearing low-rise jeans back then, at least I was, having the 80 centimeter at your hip meant you were pretty much wearing a size 0 or 2, which at the time I was. So people would come in, they would try it on, they would like want to see if it would fit them, and ultimately it didn't end up fitting anyone except me. So after a couple of months of showing this one piece to probably like 100 people, knowing that it was only going to fit me, it was something that everyone wanted, I decided to bite the bullet and buy it for myself. I can honestly tell you that I fell for the hype on that item. I never really had thought critically about it, but I didn't really wear belts. It's just that the people that I was coming into contact with every day like built up such a pedestal for this thing and were ultimately disappointed that they couldn't get it, but I could. So looking back, I have a 10 out of 10 failure rate with purchasing things that are like really highly sought after or highly coveted. That's just not really my style, and I don't like seeing like other people wearing the same thing that I'm wearing. And that's something that I did not understand about myself until after I bought that belt, never wore it, and ended up selling it. And just to note, there's a reason why small belts end up on the resale market, and that's because people outgrow them. If I hadn't sold that belt when I did, I guarantee 100% I would not be able to wear it today. So next up is the Louis Vuitton Twin Pochette. This is a vintage piece. I think it was made in like the late 90s to early 2000s, and at the time in I guess this would be like 2014 or 15. These were going for great deals on the resale market. I'll try to find some and link them down below. So as I mentioned earlier, part of my capacity at my first store was doing pricing and research. Very often we would get in monogram Louis Vuitton pieces that are probably like roughly around that size. Now we never got in that item in particular, but it was very prevalent out there on the market. You could find them all over eBay for like really attainable prices. Now this was when I was first getting started. While I was just dipping my toe into the concept of like actually like spending like designer money on bags for the first couple of times. You know, affordability is of the essence, and that's one that I kept seeing like great deals for. So I think I found one of these on, I want to say maybe Fashion File or something, for like $300. And I got that bag. I tried it on like once and realized that even in the GM size, because it comes in 2 sizes, even in the GM size, like that is just too small of a bag for me. Now, I have banged my head against this same brick wall continually for the ensuing 8 or 9 years, obviously, because I complain about small bags incessantly. But the first time that I really got an understanding of that was with the twin Pochette, and it's a shame because it's a great bag and they're relatively like a good affordable prices. It's great as a crossbody, and you can also obviously use it as a pochette. So I do recommend it. It just wasn't for me. By the way, I'm making a new rule that I have to get clearance from you guys out there before I buy another small bag. So look on my community tabs, look on my Instagram, because clearly we know I don't like them. Why do I keep buying them? Help. Okay, this one's funny. I actually have a YouTube video on like 15 different ways to wear this thing, and ultimately I ended up not wearing it, a single one of them. I'm talking about my Chanel brooch. So this was a lambskin woven CC brooch in black leather with gold chains. It's super cute. It's very Chanel. It has all of like the pieces, woven leather chain, CC detail. Now, when it comes to things that people ask about and things that people buy, Chanel brooches are absolutely absolutely on that list. The bigger the better, the more loud the CC, the more they like it. And after like months and months and eventually years and years of, you know, the same drum beat, like you kind of, like what happened with me at least was that I kind of like began to also subscribe myself to thinking that that is something that everyone needs to have. I actually remember seeing this brooch on Fashion File first for like maybe like $700 or $800. I saw like continually the brooches would be like $800, $750, etc. And finally one day I go and I look and I see that they have this exact brooch on the Chanel website. But I call my local store and I asked if they had one in stock. They said, yeah, we have it. But the price that posted online was $400. And I'm like, I can afford that. Long story short, I call my local boutique and they have one. They set it aside for me. I go and I pick it up and I'm all excited. And what I realized was that it was something I was more excited about like having and owning and having purchased than actually wearing. And that's not what you want. The thought is that if you put a Chanel brooch onto anything, then it's like, oh, now you're wearing a Chanel blazer. Now it's a Chanel denim jacket. And when in reality, like, I am weird about logos, and I didn't really understand that about myself at the time. Yes, of course, there are many different cool ways to wear them, but for me, at least in my style, like, it doesn't work. I feel like I'm just like slapping a sticker onto my... So this brooch, I literally did not wear it one time. Now, pearls are not something I would normally see myself wearing, but you know, I also said that about a brooch as well. By the way, this is not to knock brooches. I'm gonna leave that video linked down below. I'm very proud of it. There are like 10 to 15 different ways to wear brooches, and if you wear brooches, then you should check that video out. But what I realized right after that is that none of them are for me. So once again, the drum beat, the constant drum beat, it's kind of like drilled into your head. There were bags that were just like kind of thought of as classics. Now, I think people are kind of getting away from it now in 2023, but like listicles of like the top 10 like it bags that you need to have in your wardrobe, that kind of thing, I think that kind of isn't really as much of a thing as it used to be. But back then, when I was first getting started in this industry, there was very much of that. One of those was the Balenciaga Part-time bag, and this is the bag that I hated more than any other bag that I have ever owned. This is the bag that taught me that there are certain shapes and silhouettes that are absolutely non-starters for me. If a bag is slouchy, it can be slouchy over there with someone else. I can't have slouch. I've talked about this bag a lot, so I'm not gonna like harp too much on this. It is a great bag. It did fit all of my essentials that I required for the day, but you know, we open up that zipper and then the bag just fell to pieces around it. So nowadays they have updated the look. There's the, I believe it's called the Neo City. I've done a review of the updated one, I think like last year or so. Definitely more my style, more my vibe. It's a much sturdier leather, a lot more structure to it. I do like the look, but the older style was just sung and praised and thought of to be such a classic that every like it girl needed to have, like if you know you know vibes, which definitely is me. But implementation of it in that like really soft, supple like goat leather that just crumbles if when you look at it the wrong way, no thank you. This is a quick story. Because I was constantly doing research for other items that would come in, I was constantly scrolling through the Louis Vuitton website. I would find like a comp for what a similar wallet is going for in the boutique now versus what other ones are going for on the resale market. And one day I happened upon the Louis Vuitton Victorine wallet. The thing that got me about this item was the price. I believe that it retailed for like $540 or so, I want to say. Back then, you know, I mean, obviously it was still a lot of money, but it was not like untouchable. It wasn't like completely ridiculous, especially for something like a wallet that you are going to carry and use every single day of your life. All right, so this is one of the only items ever that I purchased new from the boutique. I actually called I called the Louis Vuitton hotline and they sent me over to like some Saks in like Indiana or something, and they happened to have one in stock and I ordered it over the phone. Yeah, once I got it, I used it for a couple of months and I just noticed that it was just really like chubby and fat, and I'm like, this is too much wallet for what I need. This is an example for sure of me buying something just because it was attainable, because it was there and I could have it. That's something that I am actively trying to get away from. Now, this is one of my very favorite stories that taught me such an important lesson. The debut bag from Alessandro Michele's time at Gucci in 2015 or so was the Dionysus line, and I was head over heels obsessed with it from the moment I saw it. It comes in a couple of different sizes. I liked the largest one, and I just found that bag so incredibly stunning. Now, I don't really fixate so much on like new current collection bags, and I kind of never have. So for me to actually be into something that was currently in stores, like let me tell you, when I tell you I was visiting that bag in the store every single time I could. I was going to Bal Harbour, I was trying it on, pricing it out, etc. Now fast forward to a couple, like maybe a year or so after I had seen it initially and fallen in love with it, I'm scrolling through Gilt and they have the chain wallet version available there for like under $1,000. I think the retail of the wallet version at the time was like maybe let's call it $1,200. The Dionysus in the medium size that I wanted at the time was like maybe $23, so like double the price basically. And $2,300 for me, this person, to spend at that time was just like, whoa. So I found the chain wallet on Gilt for like $900, and that, once again, a lot more attainable, like just easier pill to swallow. It's a little bit different, and it was kind of similar to the bag that I really wanted. I get it. I unbox it here on my channel. Go check out this video because it is so absolutely cringe. I think I will probably never take it down, even though I can't watch it. It is so embarrassing. Oh my god, I'm like nervous. I'm nervous. Oh my god, there's a box. Oh my god. Look at this. Look at this. Okay. Don't freak out. I'm sorry, I'm freaking out. Oh my god. I'm scared. I'm scared. My heart's beating. Oh my god. Look. Oh my god. I love it. Oh my god, do you see how beautiful this is? Oh my gosh. Stop saying, I've said oh my god like 30 times. I'm sorry. Thousands of people saw that. That was the first time that I bought a bag new, technically, even though it was on sale. So it was kind of a big deal for me. But, you know, actually going in and using that bag, the functionality, I hated that bag so much. So basically what happens when you go to use it is that like you put your stuff in, and if you're only carrying like a card holder and like a couple of paper clips, then it looks fine. But if you put anything of like with a girth of any size, then what's happening on the inside is like it's just rounding and like shape, it's like distorting and shaping kind of like a football is the best way to describe it. It had like 37 card slots when you really honestly only need like 4 to 6, and I didn't like the design or style of it. I ended up selling and getting the one that I actually wanted. So a note from me to you, wise Catherine of the future to Catherine of the past just getting started in making your purchases. Don't settle, just wait and save the money for the thing that you actually want. Don't settle for something else that you don't need and won't like that's cheaper. Also, you hate small bags. Luxury and settling should never be put together in the same sentence. This next bag is also a funny story. In the kind of beginning of my channel, I had purchased with my own money the Celine Nano luggage to replace a counterfeit gift. You may remember that story. I talked about it a couple months ago. Be sure to check out the video. And when I finally got the real thing, like, I hated that bag. I hated that bag so much. Now, this is a super popular bag. Plenty of people love it. As a matter of fact, I think I'm one of the only people that doesn't because I'm a weirdo. But that was one of the first bags that I ever purchased for myself, and someone buying me a counterfeit was what even put it on my radar. So yeah, that ended up not being a bag for me at all, but I think it's a really interesting and unique way that it came into my life. Pretty much, I think I bought it and then I sold it in like 2 weeks because I just immediately knew, like, no. So there were a couple of other like little things that I may have purchased in like the very beginnings of my wardrobe and collection, but ultimately I think that like there is a lot that I had to learn for myself. As a matter of fact, if I want to pull out my items from Act 1 that I do still have, it is only these two. Like, to think that I shopped and bought so many things during that period to only by this point have these two items left, I definitely think says something, and it is a really, really common thing when people are just getting started in their wardrobes. So here on my channel, just because I've been in the industry for so long, like, I love giving you guys advice. If you have any questions about something you should buy, but ultimately sometimes you can only really experience it for yourself. So my main takeaways here are to, for me at least, not to go for things that are popular, to not just buy something because it's just like low-hanging fruit, and for the love of God, I hate small bags. Like, in the beginning, you're still learning, like, you're still like coming into your own style, and you're still finding out what works for you. So what I do recommend is not necessarily blowing the bank in the beginning, not necessarily breaking the bank in the beginning with your purchases. Although I have to say, this was my first bag purchase and I knocked it out of the park. That's usually not the case though. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below if you'd like to see anything else from me about this designer resale market. A ton of info is bouncing around in my head, and I'd love to share it with you. So I'm gonna leave some more videos here on screen if you want to check those out. And definitely though, check out the ones that I'm gonna leave the link down below from like the early days of my channel, because it is just so cringe. I can't, but you should. But I'll see you guys in my next one.